How does a nation keep choosing life after so much loss? This is Israel's story, from mourning to hope. This is ALIYAH News. The Jewish people have survived centuries of crisis, trauma, and existential threat, yet consistently emerge with hope, creativity, and the determination to rebuild. What explains this resilience, and what lessons does their courage offer? The Hebrew word for crisis is mashber, which also means a birthing stool. In Hebrew, crises are not just opportunities, they are birth pangs. Something new is being born. That's why Jews have survived every crisis in 4,000 years and emerged even stronger than they were before. This is a quote by Rabbi Sachs. Much of the Jewish community's identity and beliefs are embodied in their feasts, which reflect profound themes of overcoming death and destruction. These themes are woven through pivotal events such as the exodus from slavery in Egypt, the return from Babylonian exile to rebuild Jerusalem, and the deliverance of Esther, who saved her people from the decree of the Persian king. Unfortunately, the retelling of these stories remains all too relevant today, as Jewish communities continue to face atrocities and discrimination. In the wake of the Holocaust, when 6 million Jews were murdered, the survivors showed unparalleled resilience. They built their lives, raised children and grandchildren, and committed themselves to ensuring the continuation of Jewish life and culture. In the face of the most horrific mass genocide in history, Holocaust survivors became leaders in many fields: scientists, doctors, economists, and philanthropists, determined to make contributions that would outlast the horrors they endured. Following the Holocaust came the creation of the State of Israel, perhaps the greatest example of hope rising from the ashes. Survivors of Europe's atrocities made their way to the Promised Land, seeking security and a future. Israel fought for its survival on all fronts, emerging as a new country with a new language, absorbing countless traumatized refugees. Today, Israel is a global leader in cybersecurity, medical innovation, agricultural technology, and cultural revival, including the resurrection of the ancient Hebrew language. Most recently, the Nova Festival site has become a symbol of this enduring spirit. On October 7th, 2023, this place witnessed unspeakable violence as 374 young lives were lost in one of the most horrific acts of terror. Yet from this site of destruction, a profound message of hope is now being written. A tent stands where scribes gather to handwrite the Torah, creating in the place of death the Word of God, which is the source of hope and life for the Jewish people.
So they've set up here in this tent. It's actually a type of synagogue. We just had some prayers in here. And there's a authentic, in Hebrew it's called a scribe, a sofer, a scribe. And he's writing a Torah scroll in memory of the people who were killed here at the Nova Festival. So our friend here, his name is El Chai, the living God. That's his name in Hebrew. He's going to explain a little bit about what the scribe is doing. He also is a scribe, so he's also authorized to write our Torah. And he'll share what's happening over here, and I'll translate for him. So first he says, thank you for being here. That it really deeply appreciates us, that people from all around the world come to be with us, to support us, and to understand the truth of what occurred here. So the name of this tent is in Hebrew, Re'im Ahovim, that means beloved friends. And this was set up to be a memorial for the 374 people that were murdered here. So he said it was very important that we're remembering people, in addition to the stories and the pictures, to be spiritually connected to them. And therefore they created this initiative to write the Holy Torah in their memory. So they actually already wrote 2 Torahs as Shlishi. This is already their 3rd scroll that they're writing. The first one was in memory of this commander, Ido Yehoshua, who was killed here. The second scroll that they wrote is in memory of Ron Goili. This is the only body that is still being held captive in Gaza that we're praying for and waiting for.
As of January 6th, 2026, the body of Ran Gvili was recovered after 844 days in Gaza, marking the first time since 2014 that there were no Israeli hostages remaining in Gaza.
So the third Torah that they're writing now, they started from the book of Genesis, now they're in the book of Exodus, is in memory of Jonathan, who was also murdered here in a very, very terrible way. So his father was interviewed recently on TV, and he said specifically in the place where the murder took place, we're writing letters that are going to last forever. So as you can imagine, this isn't a typical place that you write a Torah scroll. Usually it's in a special office building, so it's unusual. He did it here because he wanted whoever comes to visit to see it and understand that we're all part of this together.
The Sefer Torah is a handwritten kosher scroll containing the first 5 books of Moses. It is used for public reading during Jewish services and consists of 304,805 letters, where even a single error can render the entire scroll invalid.
There's a feather pen that he uses that's a very antique. That's the same way we've done it for thousands of years. Very special parchment and paper. And every letter has to be written 100% correct.
Visitors to the memorial are invited to join in the mitzvah by sitting next to the scribe as he writes a letter in the Torah, therefore participating in the remembrance of the victims and the continuation of Jewish life.
So he's going to write a letter and give a blessing to everybody who is here. So he said, God should bless you to continue the incredible work you do of spreading the light that you get here in Israel, telling the story of the Jewish people. So thank you very much. Toda rabah. Thank you.
The Nova site epitomizes a deeply Jewish phenomenon, the ability to mourn and honor the past while simultaneously contending for life and forging a hopeful path forward. This is echoed in the kibbutz communities that were attacked on October 7th, where, despite the deep grief, for some, discussions about rebuilding began almost immediately. These conversations were not dismissals of pain, but rather they were fueled by a profound sense of responsibility for survival, preservation, and the celebration of life. Nearly 2.5 years later, the atrocities of October 7th, 2023, and despite fighting on multiple fronts, the Israeli stock market has risen and outperformed global markets, including the US, a miracle in itself. This too is echoed by the thousands who, even in the midst of war, continue to move to Israel, choosing to be part of a society that will undoubtedly face more challenges, but remains steadfast in its pursuit of life and renewal. David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, once wrote, "In Israel, in order to be a realist, you must believe in miracles." The Jewish concept of hope does not deny reality or promote escapism. Instead, it holds the present in the light of the promise of a better future. This hope is deeply woven into Jewish identity, rooted in the scriptures, which speak of God's eternal commitment to preserve the Jewish people across all generations. As it is written, "But now the Lord who made you, O Jacob, and he who made you, O Israel, says, do not be afraid, for I have bought you and made you free. I have called you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not flow over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The fire will not destroy you. For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, who saves you. I have given Egypt as pay for your life, and have traded Cush and Seba for you. You are of great worth in my eyes. You are honored, and I love you. I will give other men in your place. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Ebenezer Operation Exodus YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. See you next time.